Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Our topic today is banks fail. Now, the question is, do I put an exclamation mark after that, or do I put a question mark? Well, probably it would be correct to put an exclamation mark, but I'm going to put a question mark. It's very important that we watchmen get our story straight and that we're accurate. So I'm going to say banks fail, question mark. Now, I've got some really important information for you today. We've been talking about how banks are on the edge already, and so I've got some further confirmations. Apparently, they are about to go over the edge this week. I'll show you. Okay, so before we get started, this is the once time of the year where we ask people to donate to Prophecy Club. I mean, real big push. We send out emails and everything we can try to get, and our goal is $77,000. And we're not asking for a specific amount because I believe a lot of people watch Prophecy Club and God has blessed them powerfully. And there's some of you can give fairly large amounts, 5, 10,000, who knows, maybe even someone can give the whole 77,000. But I do know this, you cannot outgive God. So what are you going to use it on, Stan? Well, we're on a lot of platforms, and just because you're on a platform does not mean anybody is watching. Matter of fact, some of the platforms may have like 18 views or something like that. So just because you're there doesn't mean anybody has found you. So our goal is to spend $77,000 in the year 2024 on advertising on those platforms so that we can reach more people. And we would love to have you be a supporter. And what you do is just put your little phone right up to that QR code like you're taking a picture, and a little yellow box will form around it, and you touch that and it'll take you over, and it's an easy, fast way to give. And of course, we're also asking people to join the Prophecy Club, $9.90 a month, but that's different. Right now, this is the once a year, end of the year push for donations, goal $77,000. And just whatever the Lord lays on your heart, it'll be right in here. He'll lay it on your heart, and then you give that, and then you can be happy you did. Okay, so I'm going to start with a disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor, and I will not give any financial advice. In other words, I'm not going to tell you to take your 401k and put it in gold and silver. I'm not going to tell you to take your IRA and do likewise. I'm not going to tell you to take money out of the bank, put it in gold and silver. I'm not going to tell you to go to Joe's Kitchen and buy food because that's the only way you're going to live. I can't tell you all those things. I personally think it's good advice, but I'm not giving advice. Now, I just ran across this. As you can see, the date is December the 8th. Today's the 11th. I'm making this. And it's about to say some startling things. As a matter of fact, I started reading it, and at first I just, and I clicked past it. Then I got another one of them, and it's saying the same thing. So I emailed my white hat banker, which I'm about to show you what he says, and sad to say, I've got several places that are confirming this. This is big. So anyway, let's go on, let's read. Banking high alert. Be aware that all the terms and conditions for credit and debit cards are changing rapidly now. I said that right. Ready. I read every email and notice mails to you from your bank, word for word. Do not skip anything, thinking it is the usual billing or advertising they send all the time. That would be a huge mistake. The banks are, in fact, now changing all the terms and conditions of every credit card and debit card. Again, I've had this confirmed. This apparently really is happening. The Treasury and all the agencies of the U.S. government issuing EBT cards are affected as well. So read each email or letter you receive regarding your EBT card carefully, word for word as well. If you need to take action related to your credit or credit cards, do it immediately before the changes take effect. In other words, they're saying these things we've been talking about these big financial changes, well, I guess it's finally arrived. This alert is much more than credit cards will be cut off or your credit limits scaled back based upon credit score and AI programs. It is also about a total change in the terms of your credit card agreement. I'm reading it slow so you can really get it, because I don't get a lot of this technical stuff either, okay? But this is important. I'll read it again. This is about a total change in the terms of your credit card agreement, which you have with your bank, as well as how and when the changes will take place. Here's what you will need to find out. You are notified to read all the words carefully in any emails or letters regarding your credit card. Even your monthly statement may contain contract changes, so read every word of every communication from your bank. Now, this is the summarized version. The terms of payment will change at the will of the bank. That doesn't sound good. No, it doesn't. The amount of interest, I'll say that again, the amount of interest charged can change, as well as when the interest will begin being charged will change by the bank's choice. Let me read that again. The amount of interest charged can change at your bank's whim, and the terms of your credit limit will change based upon the factors that the bank will choose, not you. The banks are also sending the notices that if you do not agree with their changes in the terms of service, you can cancel. You can cancel your card, and full and complete payment of the remaining balance of your credit card is due and payable immediately. Did you catch that? Okay, so they can say, no, you can't make minimum payments. You can't use the ATM. I'll read all of it here, but it's saying if you don't like this, you can cancel your card, but you have to pay off the entire balance immediately. The banks are preparing to send notices to people regarding changes in the terms of service for debit cards and ATM use. Now, I'd like to think this is just mumbo jumbo, but I had this confirmed by 2 other sources I'm about to share with you. Your daily limit of cash at ATMs can change to maybe nothing. Your total daily spending limit in stores can also change, again, at the bank's whim. In addition, the top 12 banks in the USA sent notices to the credit and the debit card processing companies, not just to the card holders, but the card processing companies, that as of midnight, December 14th, I'll say that again, as of midnight, December 14th, I'm making this at 3:44 p.m. on the 11th of December. Yeah, as in 3 days. What they're saying is your credit cards might not and probably won't work after Thursday night, as in this week, this Thursday. I'll read it again. In addition, the top 12 banks in the USA sent notices to the credit card and debit card processing companies that as of midnight, December 14th, Eastern USA time, their services for processing credit and debit cards around the country to merchants and ATM machines were no longer needed. What? What they just said is your credit card is going bye-bye by Thursday night, midnight. This notification by the 12 largest banks in the USA coincides with December 15th, 2023. Remember that date. December 15th, 2023. $149 trillion derivative bond problem centered in Europe, but affects all large banks around the world, especially the banks in Europe and the USA. Make no mistake, there are massive banking changes coming to the USA. And nothing in banking will ever return to normal. You are used to having as service and support from your bank. Gone. It's all gone. Starts this Thursday night. I didn't write it, okay? I'm just passing it along. I'm a good watchman. Hopefully you're a good watchman. You understand, I'm doing the best I can to try to bring you the truth. It goes on to say on December 23rd, it gets worse. On December 23rd, 2023, this year, the USA, by law, must pay all interest due on all U.S. government bonds to the creditors, which has been overdue since November 23rd of 2023. So what did that just say? That just said the government is broke. That just said that the government's about to default on its credits, on the big credits. Remember when they borrow money, to extend the budget and stuff? Well, apparently the piper is wanting payment, and they ain't no money in the bank to pay. I'll read it again. December 23rd, USA, by law, must pay all interest due on all U.S. government bonds to the creditors which have been overdue since November 23 of 2023. Or the U.S. government enters the full default conditions defined in each government bond issued by the U.S. government. This payment or lack payment will directly affect every American. In other words, your dollar is about to get shot. It's about to get a hole about the size of a 50 caliber through it. And just like Coverstone saw it on fire, third of it burned. Same thing. Chris Reed saw a third of it burn. So all of a sudden, these prophecies that God has been giving us apparently are about to come to pass. And there's confirmation. Now, of course, I can't tell you his name, but he's my white hat banker friend. The story on that is when I went up to speak in Missouri, he came up and introduced himself. We've been talking from time to time, become good friends, and all I can say is he's very credible. I can't give you his name, but he's very credible. So this is an email I got today. I sent this, what I just read, I sent this over to him. And I said, is there any truth to this? I'll read every word of what he said. Stan, on the 15th of this month, it is suggested many banking changes will begin. I'm told the credit and debit card limitations, etc., are correct. I'll read that again. I'm told the credit and debit card limitations are correct. What you just heard is confirmed by a high-level banker. Christian, most of the other issues I've not been able to confirm as of yet. Either way, I truly believe this week, into the weekend, the cabal markets will begin to descend and eventually fall. All moving forward to the transition. Transition? What transition? Well, if it's not broken, don't fix it. So the whole financial world is in the process of being broken, so they can bring in a new financial system. Now, here's the email before this. If you look at the date, this is 12/7. Same white hat banker. He said the Bank of Japan is stating that the U.S. Treasury notes have no, or greatly reduced, value due to the interest rates rising, which they are mostly correct. The BRICS group is working to de-dollarize, causing the failure of the Federal Reserve fiat dollar. Each of these events are part of the ongoing processes of crashing the Did you hear that? Crashing the financial markets, and then the the Federal Reserve dollar. My estimate is December is the start of the market crash. He believes it will be approximately a 1/3 crash. I'm going to read that again. My estimate is December is the start of the market crash, approximately 1/3. Then January and February, we'll see the dollar crash. It's all right on track for the financial component. The military scare, that's the Israel thing, and the Biden administration takedown, that's now in progress too. Do you remember 2 or 3 weeks ago I told you that he had told us these three things? That Biden has to go, the dollar has to fall, and there has to be a war scare? Remember that? It's 3 things. I think that was the title of it, 3 things, 2 or 3 weeks ago. That largely came from him. He said it's coming, and now it's arriving. Nothing can stop what has begun. So what do I suggest? Well, I'm not a financial advisor. But if you want to call prophecyclubgold.com, or if you want to call prophecyclub.com or prophecyclubgold.com, or 800-200-4653. These guys can give you financial advice. As a matter of fact, they are experts to help you get your IRA or your 401k into actually held precious gold and silver. 800-200-4653. And now, as further confirmation, this comes to us from Health Thoroughfare. 12 of the largest banks in the U.S. shock people. December 8th, It has been just revealed that 12 of the most important banks in the U.S. have notified their customers that they are ceasing to require their services. What did that just say? It just said 12 of the banks are about to stop clearing credit cards. That's what it's really. I'll read it again. 12 of the most important banks in the U.S. have notified their customers they are ceasing to require their services. This is effective midnight Thursday. That's the same thing the other article said. Mount of 2 or 3 witnesses. December 14th. Thursday, December 14th. Thursday. This is Thursday. Okay, this coming Thursday at midnight is standard time. Apparently, the credit cards are going to all be turned off. Maybe I misunderstood, but that's what it sounded like to me. Check out the latest reports below. So, it went on saying the same thing. Let me remind you, Mina Grebin is quoted as saying, many Christians will be greatly blessed in this time of need. Now, there was a big change coming financially. Shane Warren said, I saw God prospering greatly, many acquiring things, and a transfer of wealth coming to the hands of believers. I believe that's ultimately where this is going. There's going to be some hard times before we get to the other side of the river. There will be a change in the U.S. currency. A different currency is going to come, at least one, that will entail us no longer being the reserve currency of the world. Bingo. Terry Bennett, that's exactly what we're talking about. The United States of America is about to swing into a new season. At first, it will be a prosperous time, but it will be short-lived. Patricia Green. That's the reason I say go to prophecyclubgold.com, or you can call them 800-200-4653. 800-200-4653. All right. Now, this is further confirmation. And we've talked about med beds. I told you that I was thinking in my heart one day that I thought, boy, it'd be nice getting a med bed and, fix up some things in the old Stan's body. Man, I mean, the Lord spoke to me, and it wasn't audible, but it was pretty close to it. He said, absolutely not. He said, you get in one of those med beds, and it will change your DNA, and you will lose your salvation. In other words, you can't get into eternity having the DNA or the image of the beast in you. Can't do it. That's what this article is saying. They're about to introduce it. It's dated December the 11th. It says, Holiday Miracle, medbed set to be revealed this December. This actually is important. This ties together with the financial thing. Get ready for a health revolution. And it goes on telling about it, which I'm not going to read. You can pause and you can read it. But here's where it ties in. October 4th, 2014, Prophet Neville Johnson of Australia had an angel visit him. This is part of what the angel said. The angel shouted the words, shake, exposure, transfer. I believe what we're about to see is a transfer. As he said this, I felt the earth under me shake like a tremor. At this point, I heard the Lord speak one more time. I will shake the heavens and the earth. It will start first in the church, then in the nations. There will be exposures in the church. Hidden things will come to light as a purifying work in the church gets underway. If there's going to be a big revival, it has to start in the church, and it has to start with the church getting right. This will shock many people, but it is the work of God. Then Joseph, that's the angel, then Joseph said, transfer. There's going to be a transfer of wealth to those of the kingdom who can righteously handle it. I'm going to read that again. There's going to be a transfer of wealth to those in the kingdom of God who can righteously handle it. Remember, Shane Warren said the same thing, that they wouldn't be able to go to the government anymore. Government's going to be broke. They have to go to the church. And revival and miracles return to the church. In the church was food and safety. Okay? That fits with everything we know and everything we want. Economic shaking. Then the vision opened up in front of me where I saw this angel holding what looked like a very fragile, large, ornate cup and saucer. The cup was very thin and fragile. Written on the cup were the words, nations' economies. Then I was able to see inside of the cup, and on the inside it was filthy. The angel said the economies of the world are like this cup, clean on the outside, but filthy on the inside. I then heard a crack, and the cup began to crack, and quickly fell apart into pieces. In other words, this, even though it was given to us 10 years ago, this apparently is about to happen. God is going to shake every nation. There's going to be a shaking in the financial systems of the nations, and that is very close to now, where the financial systems of the world are going to dramatically be shaken. Change is coming. Then the scene changed. And this angel was holding up a large man upside down by his leg. This is about to tie together with the med beds. He began shaking this man violently up and down with an up and down movement. As I watched, all kinds of things began falling out of the man's pockets, such as gold, silver, inventions, which seemed to have been in connection with energy as well as other inventions, cures for certain diseases such as cancer, diabetes, asthma, Alzheimer's, many other diseases, cures that already exist. They already have the cure, but they have not released them. The pharmaceutical, those wonderful, good pharmaceutical companies that barrage us with ads all the time? Hidden by pharmaceutical companies, this giant represented the world and the financial systems of this world. Now, hang on. I want to take you back. I want to show you this. Now, we're going to come back to this page here. Let me see this. So this place is saying that December is the month that med beds come out. This guy is saying that the release of fantastic new cures and high technology is associated with the whole new financial system. Follow the banks. Are you catching this? In other words, it's another confirmation. If we have ears to hear what the voice of the Lord is saying, we should be recognizing this. So let's go on, though. So as I watched this unfold, this angel again shouting the words shake, exposure, transfer. Now, it's the end of that, but let me show you another one. This comes from Neville Johnson, 2013. This is a year before. I saw another devastating economic collapse. I saw Japan and Germany were some of the triggers. What have we seen? We've seen Japan, especially Germany, having all kinds of problems. I saw an earthquake devastating Tokyo, which was also the trigger as the Tokyo stock market collapsed. We haven't seen that yet, so that's still coming. USA was seriously affected by this. There's a very good possibility we can look at probably the second to third quarter of next year as a big earthquake. Now, I didn't say that, thus saith the Lord. That's just a guess. It was revealed to me that none of the banking safeguards which were recommended in the last economic meltdown, that would be back in 2008, in the USA had been put into place. This economic collapse will be far more severe than the last one. Many churches and Christian organizations, along with large corporations, will fall into bankruptcy because of this. Remember Leslie and her dream, the mudslide? People had a lot of money and they lost it all. 800-200-4653, prophecyclubgold.com. Now, I got one more, I think. 22, Coverstone. I dreamed I was watching a large passenger plane with an American flag on its tail wing. I believe that this is a picture of what's about to happen to our finances in America. It began to slight normal descent. The people on board, the windows, I peered unafraid, reading magazines, listening through headphones, resting and sleeping. That's where we are right now. Suddenly the plane did a nosedive straight down, but the people on board didn't even notice. See, most people right now, they don't know this is coming. They don't want to know this is coming. They prefer to live in their bliss. But unfortunately, the shaking and the crash is coming. That's what it says here. Naval ships around aimed heavy caliber weapons at Taiwan. Of course, now that's tying in here what we're talking about, drawing closer to the nation. I saw military leaders in China pushing military pieces on a table, planning a map. Sounds like what Vicky Goforth Parnell got, doesn't it? There were radio communications leadership was sitting near a red button. There was angry speech and the pounding of the fists on the table. The Chinese leader was also staring at a phone in his hand and rocking nervously back and forth in an old-fashioned American rocking chair that didn't fit the decor of the room. I saw a table set beside St. Basil's Cathedral near the Kremlin. Putin and his military leaders were having a picnic with empty wine bottles on the table. Putin was holding his side in pain and not drinking. He had a cell phone in his hand, was staring at it while sitting in the same kind of rocking chair as the Chinese leader. Putin was very calm and relaxed and untouched by the boisterous generals around him. Then the scene changed. European leaders were discussing the surrounding of Taiwan and what should be done to help them. The decision was made to let the world leaders of the United States and Britain handle the crisis, as they all had faith in that plan. Each of the leaders stood and shook hands while wiping the sweat from their brow. Then I saw a split screen of both the Chinese leader and the Putin hit send on their phones at the very same time. The leaders then casually shut their eyes and began to go to sleep. The Navy ships quickly turned away from Taiwan, and I saw many missiles raining down on Ukraine. It was a larger issue than reported in the news. I saw large missile silos all over the Western Europe uncovered and smoke coming out, but no launch took place, meaning near war. One large rocket launched from the Chinese ship headed east from Taiwan at hypersonic speed, but the trajectory stopped over the middle of America. Now, here comes the point I want you to make here. The plane at the first part of the dream dropped below the lowest clouds. That's our financial situation, dropping below acceptable. I saw land patterns on the ground below. There was an explosion just above the plane, and it lost all power. That's probably representing the EMP pulse, or the suitcase nukes. The first time the descent was directed by the pilot, but now the lights inside the plane all went out. Again, probably suitcase nukes hitting America. People became aware that their music had stopped and the TVs were off, and they were looking out the windows in shock, and that's the only way America's going to get it, that anything is amiss. There was screaming and beating on the pilot's door in absolute panic. Then it all went dark. As the plane was going straight down, the man I see, that's the angel, was sitting next to the window unafraid. He said out through the window to me, I told them to pray, but they didn't. They need to take it seriously now. Then he disappeared. Now, I believe it's saying that our economy is about to fall. Most people won't see any of the signs of warning. They won't realize this is coming. But a few of us prophecy students, a few of us that are prepping to win souls, are going to get prepared. And so I recommend a couple of things. So we have some active prophecies. I think it's very important to remember. We have 11 prophecies that say that the dollar is going to fall. And for that, I'll send you to prophecyclubgold.com. And we got 14 prophecies saying that there's about to be a food shortage. And for that, I'll send you to josephkitchen.com. 17 prophecies say that there's going to be an earthquake, probably caused by a meteor, also with a tsunami. And once again, you want to go to josephkitchen.com for that. 34, that's more than anything else. 34 say there's going to be suitcase nukes in America. And for that, I'd recommend you go to empshield.com. Get yourself one of these. Put on your car. You can get another one for your house. They got videos show you how to do it. And if you use the promo code PROPHECY, it gets you a $50 discount. And, of course, it helps your Prophecy Club. 7 say that there's going to be a surprise nuclear attack that destroys America, plus 6 chapters in the King James Bible. So, I recommend you get prepared. Not that we want to live to the end. We want to win souls. We want to be soul winners. That's why we're preparing. Let's talk about Joseph's Kitchen. I actually cooked this loaf of bread you're seeing here. Takes me about 10 minutes to put the ingredients together, put it into a bread machine, push a button, 2 hours, 20 minutes later, I get a loaf of bread out like that. Now, if you cut that loaf of bread that weighs about 3 pounds, the loaves you get in the store have most of the good stuff removed. The loaves you get in the store are about 1 pound. That's 3 pounds because it's got the good stuff still in it. Cut that into 14 slices, and if I eat a slice in the morning and the afternoon, I'm satisfied. So on that basis, one loaf can sustain, I didn't say it's everything we want, can sustain one person for a week. Based upon that, it'll get you excellent nutrition. It tastes good, long storage life, 10 minutes to combine the ingredients, 2 hours, 20 minutes to make it. Other wheat that you order arrives in paper bags, which means bugs, rice, humidity can get a hold of it and ruin it. But at Joseph's Kitchen, they send it out in 100 mil thick buckets. Gives you long shelf life. It's stackable. It's nitrogen infuses that hopefully gives it much longer shelf life, kills bugs and things like that. Easily resealable, keep in a climate-controlled area. And they have it in stock. This is a picture, an actual picture of part of the warehouse. Here's another picture of these. Actually, each one of those boxes holds 2,500 pounds of wheat. And I think they've got 54 of those boxes, a bunch of them. So Joseph's Kitchen can ship it to you right now. You go to most of these places, they say out of stock. So here's what you want to do. Everybody needs to get a machine package. These are the things that you need to grind the wheat berries. Put them into a grinder. 30 seconds later, you have flour. You put that into the bread machine along with 6 other ingredients. Push about 2 hours, 20 minutes later, you have a nice hot loaf of whole wheat bread. Then you have to decide how much food you want. You want food 2 people 1 year, 4 people 1 year, 6 people 1 year. And if you want to make certain you have it when the electricity goes down, you can also get yourself a solar generator, all at josephskitchen.com. josephskitchen.com. So what is an EMP Shield device? It's a device you can put on your car and your house that in an EMP attack is supposed to stop the attack. And if you go to empshield.com and if you use the promo code prophecy, they give you a $50 discount. They also have videos up there, shows you how to install it on your car and your house and everything, and it's not difficult at all. I've got one of them right here. Red goes to red, black goes to black, green goes to the car, body of your car, and you just peel it off the back, stick it under there. Got another device that goes on your house. So, not complicated. Take you about 10 minutes to put them in. So, empshield.com, promo code is prophecy.